Hey guys, hope you are doing well. This page or this specific video, I don't know why I said page in the first place, but this video is all about the different things you can add to a page using the Divi theme builder. So if that's something you are interested in, or if you're one of my clients and you want to know how to add a specific thing to your site, here you go. So I'm just going to go by listed what's available. So Accordion. This one's very rare to use, but to give you an example, you would use a such thing for maybe if you have an FAQ that you want to add, and essentially, so you would add a title. Let's say, "Hello, my name is." And you could add a paragraph. So, for example, the title would be "How much do your services cost?" To give you an actual idea of how to use this. And then you would answer in the paragraph, blah, 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 blah. And the cool thing is you can add as many sections to it, and you have to click one-on-one for the FAQ. So that's essentially when I would use an accordion. Now you can use it in different ways. For example, what separates us, but I think it's more applicable so they can see all the reasons, and rather than having to click, again, you get to choose with it, but a good reason of an accordion is if you have a lot to write and you need to split it in sections rather than taking up so much space on your site, you have that capability of keeping it compact and letting the readers, if they're interested in seeing the whole section, get an idea and glimpse of it. That's an accordion. So now we're going to go next. I personally have never used this, but you can use an artist. With my businesses, I don't work with artists, nor do I have any intention, so I'm not going to really, this isn't my particular niche, I'm not going to really cover it, but that's a capability if you want to add music. Then bar counters. This is cool if you have, for say, I've actually never used it on one of my sites, but that doesn't mean I would tell you somebody to not use it. Maybe if you have like 80% customer satisfaction for a service that is 50 on average, you would do something like this, which is something you would add. How many of our customers are satisfied? And then you add the percent, 80, and then you can edit it to a degree. Again, this is applicable to certain businesses. I personally never use it, but that's another option. And for context, if you want to use another, you can continue to make bars like this. You just got to click this button. So there's that. Then, let's go to the next section, which is blog. This is if you have already created posts, and you can add your posts to here, just like this applied. This would be all my posts I've created, right, or all my blogs. And simple, you just add the section, and they all pop up, and then you can filter it in terms of what category you want, how many posts you want to be available on the screen at once. All these specific settings, but that's how you would add a blog. Then blurb. Personally, this is a good one if you have, for example, meet our team. I like using this blurb, which is essentially just a picture, a title, and a paragraph. You can use it a lot more frequently, and keep in mind you don't have to use a picture. If you want to use instead an icon, you have that capability too. So I've done this, used this for a testimonial before. Right, so let's say I add this icon, you see it right here. Some cool capabilities. You don't have to add a title, you don't have to add a paragraph, but if you want to, rather than having to add an image, heading, section, and just do it all in one, a blurb is a great shortcut, so I do highly recommend this one. Then, let's continue. Button, very self-explanatory. I'm just going to show you what happens when you click it. A button appears, then you get to edit it with here, and then in the design direction you can choose the colors and where to, if you want to center it. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to really cover it. Then the next going on, a call to action. So, with this one, I personally don't like to use it because I have an extension where I use pop-up call to actions. Not pop-up, but expanding call to actions. So, but you have the capabilities here, which is just changing the background and then having a title and a paragraph. Personally, do I recommend it? Try it. I personally don't use it. That's another option. It's essentially a blurb without the image or icon, and also adding a background to it, which you can do with the blurb as well, but this does it like prerequisite. And you can also add a button if you're interested for this as well. Then let's go to circle counter. I don't know if I've ever used this, but this is cool little animation if you want to add it. If, let's say, you have a certain amount of customers that are satisfied. It doesn't have to be a percent, but just like the bar, if you want to do it like that as well, you have that capability. I'm pretty sure I've used this before, but not as a percentage, but rather a number like 20 years of experience. You have that capability of doing that. So it's a cool option. Do I use it? No, I think it's a little too extra, but who am I to say, right? This is your website. If you're creating it, if you're my client, you get to choose as well, right? It's not my option. And then next, code. This is if this specific one's important if you want to add specific code to a section. So I've used this before where I've asked ChatGPT to do me a section in detail that is not capable with the site in itself, and once it finally figured out the code, it took me a couple tries for ChatGPT to get it right. Paste the HTML, and it appears on your site. It's very cool, very nice. So don't ever neglect, even if you don't know code, right? Just ask ChatGPT, this is what you're looking for. Tell it the specific colors, tell it what specifically you want in it, and it'll do it all for you. It's pretty sick. Then going forward, we have comments. This is if you want to display comments that you've already had. I recommend never using this unless you have a blog site. And I've never used it because I've never created a blog site, so I'm not going to really cover it. Then there's the contact form. I personally use a different thing for contact forms now, but I have used this in before. This is if you need to add a contact form right here, and if you want to add new fields right here, you would click field options. For example, if you want it to be an email, you can make it required, or as in they can't just put la 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 in the email field. It won't work. They have to add a gmail.com or something, as well as checkboxes, radio buttons, select drop downs. You have a lot of capabilities here and a lot of cool designs you can do with it. Personally, I stopped using this contact form because I didn't like how you cannot schedule a date with it. Right? You can ask them many questions, but when it came to dates, it was unapplicable, and that was a big turn off for me. Then going forward, let's go down to the countdown timer. If you have a specific, I would recommend this if you have an e-commerce store, or maybe you're about to create an offer, or you have something that's, new event coming up. This is when you would use it. You can customize it to whatever you need, but you can also have that capability if you're interested. Then going down, we have here divider. Now the only time you use divider is to split a section. Personally, I'm not a fan of dividers in the middle. You can barely tell. There's a line here, and I'm going to just make it bigger so you have an idea of where that you see it. There you go. So maybe you have a headline, then you want a little line under it. Cool design purposes. I personally don't use it, but if you want to, like I said, all of these are different options for you to know that you can use and how to use them. That's right. What I'm telling you is when to use them, how to use them, and what they are. Then going forward, after the divider, we have the email opt-in. This is if you have a specific, like something you're giving out for free, or maybe you just have an offer and you want them to use your email. This is a great way of, rather than manually having to add every specific section or contact form, you have the headline, you have this, and then on the right you have, as you can see, the email field where they have to fill out their information. I think it's very nice, very neat. Just a faster way to do it, just like as I was talking previously with blurbs, and the other one was CTA, I think, call to action. Then we have the Filterable Portfolio. Now, I personally don't have any experience with it because I don't put anything in the portfolio section, so I'm not going to cover it, but just know if you want to, you have that capabilities. You just first have to add stuff to the portfolio section of WordPress. As you can see, I haven't. That's why I said no results found, but if you did, stuff would pop up. Then going forward, gallery. This is a nice one to display images, especially if you have a something with service site. Yeah. Now here's my different logos, funny enough. But you can change it to not include the alt caption, but rather just the image. You have different capabilities. You see it over the hover, it turns a little white with a blue icon you can barely see. You can change all this, and then here you can change the navigation, all that stuff. But it's a cool feature. I absolutely recommend using it, especially if you want to add more photos to your site. And especially, I highly recommend it if you have a service that people need to see the photos to kind of build the trust and the credibility behind your business. Highly recommend getting as many photos as you can. Then going forward, heading, this most common one, because you're going to need a heading, is you're going to first need a heading to every page, right? And that's where it is. You just create your title, and it's as simple as that. And then I don't even think I realized I mentioned, but there's the search. So for example, if I want a heading, rather than scrolling down all the way, I just search up heading and it appears, right? Pretty cool. Then going forward, we have the icon. This is a nice feature. Now personally, I just use the blurb shortcut because I don't think you would ever use an icon without having text behind it, right? You don't just use an icon. If you do, by all means, there's nothing wrong with that. Just doesn't make sense to just have an icon out there unless you have text. The icon is meant to portray what the text is saying in another way. So, but if you just ever want to just add an icon, that's how you do it. Then Divi has some good choices. Now, not the greatest, but there's some good choices out there. And I'm sure you can find something for whatever you're looking for. Then moving forward, here's an image. Most common besides the heading. Honestly, maybe even more common. Use this image. Click on this. Upload whatever image you want. Here's a good picture of me smiling. Nice. Look good. Cool. And then in the design you would do the customization. Obviously you would never want an image this big, right? So but that's how you'd add an image. Very simple, very neat. Then going forward, login. I personally don't use this because I work with service-based businesses, and logins are not something, you just want to get as many visitors to your site, so I'm not going to either talk about this. But again, if you have a different type of site, that's for you. Try it out, test it out, see how it works. Then going forward, Google Maps, I feel like the only time you would use this if you have a physical location and you want to present it. You need a Google API key for this to work, which you would just search up how to generate a Google API key. Then you'll land there. You have to confirm something, if I'm not mistaken. I forget off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've done this. And then paste it. Not in here, but you have to go to your Divi builder and then add it there. Again, if you want me to do a video about that, I'd be more than happy to. Moving forward, menu. I personally don't add menus to the middle of my sites. I only usually have it in the header and footer. But if you ever have something you want to add, by all means, right? I'm not going to stop you. You just have to create a header outside or footer, or a menu, not a header or footer, Jesus, a menu through WordPress first, and then add it. Make sure you title it whatever you want it to be. So, and then yeah, this appears. Like, look at this. This is all my pages. Cool. If you want to have something like this, by all means. Then moving forward, almost done, guys. Just two more. To give you an idea, these black ones, if you're confused, this is because I bought another Divi extension, essentially, which gives me more options that I like, more, catches the eye a lot more. The number counter, and this is a cool one, especially if you have a specific number that catches people's eyes, and I like that it rolls or increases slowly. Gives a good visual element to it. I like it if you have a year, specific years in business or something, 100 plus satisfied customers, whatever it is. And then lastly, it is person. Now, this, I just use a blurb, but if you want a blurb, has it horizontal to vertical, whereas, oh my god, blurb has a vertical, and then when you click on person, it has a horizontal where it's the image, and then on the right it's your name position. Either one works. It just, again, these are essentially just shortcuts to make it faster. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I broke it down well enough. I understand I didn't show you how to add specific things, but that was never my intention, but rather just to show you the different capabilities you have, and not only what they are, but when exactly to apply them, right? So, hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day. Subscribe and follow if you really, this content helped you. I'm trying to grow this channel slowly and slowly and provide some free value. So, have a great day, guys. Take care.